Microplastics in the food chain. Understanding the impact and solutions. Today, we will be discussing a pressing environmental issue that affects all of us. Microplastics in the food chain. Our journey will cover what microplastics are, how they enter the food chain, their impacts, and what we do to mitigate this issue. Did you know that the seafood you love might contain tiny pieces of plastic? Recent studies show that microplastics have been found in 70% of marine organisms. Let's start with a question. Did you know that the seafood you love might contain tiny pieces of plastic? This is a reality we're facing today. Recent studies reveal that microplastics have been found in 70% of marine organisms, showing just how widespread this issue is. Take a look at this image of a sea turtle entangled in plastic. It's a stark reminder of the impact plastic pollution has on marine life. Microplastics are tiny plastic pieces less than 5 millimeters in length. They come from various sources, including plastic bottles, man-made textiles like polyester, paint, and discarded electronic devices. These tiny particles are often invisible to the naked eye, but have significant impacts. Microplastics originate from multiple sources. Common sources include plastic waste from bottles and packaging, synthetic fibers from our clothes, microbads in cosmetics, paints, and even electronic devices. When these products break down, they release microplastics into the environment. Microplastics enter the food chain primarily through ingestion by small marine organisms. These small creatures are then eaten by larger predators, and the microplastics move up the food chain. This diagram shows how microplastics transfer between various organisms until they ultimately reach humans and marine mammals. The impact of microplastics on marine life is severe. Fish and other marine animals often mistake these tiny particles for food. Ingesting plastic can cause physical harm, block digestive tracts, and lead to starvation and death. Here are some images illustrating the tragic consequences for marine life. Humans are not immune to the effects of microplastics. When we eat seafood, we may also be ingesting microplastics. These tiny particles can carry toxic substances, which pose significant risks, including potential effects on the immune system and increased risk of disease. Beyond the food chain, plastic pollution disrupts entire ecosystems. This image of a polluted beach illustrates how pervasive plastic waste can be. The presence of plastics in natural habitats can alter the environment, making it inhospitable for wildlife and leading to broader ecological imbalances. To address the issue of microplastics, we need to reduce plastic waste. One effective way is by cutting down on our use of single-use plastics, such as bags and straws. Instead, we can switch to sustainable alternatives like reusable bags and metal or bamboo straws. Sustainable alternatives to plastic products are available and practical. For instance, bamboo straws and biodegradable packaging materials are eco-friendly options. By adopting these alternatives, we can significantly reduce the amount of plastic waste we produce. Many countries around the world are taking action against plastic pollution. This world map highlights regions that have implemented bans or restrictions on single-use plastics. By joining this global movement, we can amplify our efforts to combat plastic pollution. In conclusion, reducing our use of plastic products is crucial for protecting both our environment and our health. Each of us has a role to play in tackling this issue. What steps can you take in your daily life to reduce plastic waste? Small actions can lead to significant changes. Let's end with some questions to think about. Do you think banning plastic bags and straws will significantly reduce plastic pollution? What other steps can we take to tackle the issue of microplastics? These are important questions for us to consider and discuss.